on these niggas like a whack-a-mole with no hands. Kick girls on the floor like a slow jam.
What a crazy week we've had in sports this week. It has been beautiful. I've loved every minute of it. I'm just going to talk about a couple of the events, take my little spin on it, and then go from there. Starting with the NBA, the free agency, all that stuff starts December 9th, trades. So that, like the NFL after the lockout, I think it's going to be a really crazy time to do all that stuff, get them in their camps as soon as they can before the opening day on Christmas Day, 25th, which they have switched from 3 games to 5 games on Christmas Day, so that's exciting. I want to talk about this Rajon Rondo for Chris Paul trade that has been rumored around here. I don't think it'll get done unless a third party steps in, and I've heard the Pacers are trying to step in. But Danny Ainge, the general manager, wants to trade Rondo for Chris Paul, and just straight up, but Chris Paul will not sign the extension with the Celtics. I hope Chris Paul ends up in New York with Amari and Melo, but we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on that one. And also another trade rumored around is the Nets. Nothing is official until December 9th. But Brook Lopez and 2 first-rounders from the Nets have been offered for Dwight Howard on the Orlando Magic. So that'll be really interesting if that actually happens. And there's been talks, Howard going to the Lakers. He's a free agent after this year, as well as Chris Paul. And I don't know the specifics on the cap rules from the lockout yet, so I'm curious how that'll affect, but it'll be interesting. And the Bulls and Derrick Rose, last year's MVP, are working on a new deal, possibly in the 5-year, $100 million, 5-year, $100 million range. That could get done soon. And one thing that I do know about the lockout is the age limit will remain at 19 for at least 2 more years. So I can enter the draft right now, but high school kids can't, like the great LeBron James. Now I'm going to switch it up to the NFL. I just want to start with earlier this week, Jack Del Rio got fired. He was the second head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. Former player. Former Cowboy, actually, also. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they actually are now owned by Pakistani-born, I forgot his name, Khan is his last name, I think. I can't pronounce it. But I know a bunch of people are going crazy. He's been a citizen for 44 years. He's made like grabbing the charger. He's made like $100 million in the States. He's got like $100 million business, employing 12,000 people. He's been successful. And he has recently purchased the Jaguars. I don't know how much for though. I'll get back to you on that. And Tiki Barber, he's an idiot. He is an idiot. First of all, he comments about the Giants after he retired, and then the next year they won the Super Bowl. What are the odds of that? And then he goes into broadcasting, sucks at that too, and then tries to come out of retirement, and since no one will pick him up, give him a workout even, he's got to diss the Giants again, saying that they're not finishing. It's about time to evaluate Tom Coughlin. All this nonsense. And the Giants are slacking, yes. But I think Tiki's the last person that can say something about that, seeing how they got better without him on the team. Yeah. Stevie Johnson for the Buffalo Bills got fined $10,000 for his touchdown celebration last week, doing the mocking Plaxico Burress shooting himself in the foot and then doing the little Santonio Holmes. I don't know if that's his thing or if Jets in general, but doing the little jet thing and then crashing. Already costing him his 15-yard penalty, or his team, I guess. And he missed like 3 clutch catches that could have possibly won the game for the Bills. And his celebration, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It was a little excessive and it wasn't that good. I could have planned a better one, of course, right? But I mean, separate them. Score 2 touchdowns and do 2 different celebrations. Like, that's like, you think T.O. ever went to the cheerleaders, shake the pom-poms, and then went ice skating? No. Score multiple touchdowns so you can dance more. I love TD celebrations. I know a lot of people hate them. I think they're entertaining. They make the game fun. Jay Cutler, surgery on his broken thumb, throwing thumb. He's right-handed. He will be most likely out for the rest of the season and still questionable for the postseason. But he's got too much on his mind already. Now recently re-engaged to the reality star. I don't even know her name because I don't even really care that much. But I do like Jay Cutler. And the Bears struggled last week against the Raiders and they lost. But good on defense. Held them to 6 field goals, I think, and then 1 touchdown. Like 28-25, I think was the final score on that one. And it's just really interesting. Now the next person I'm going to talk about. We all know the bad boy, Mr. I'll go to the principal's office voluntarily. Going to see Goodell in New York, Ndamukong Suh. Nebraska standout. And NFL standout, but not always for the right reasons, as he stomped on a Packers lineman last week, got ejected from the game, and he is now suspended without pay for 2 games. I think the suspension is a little light. Albert Hainsworth got 5 for his stomp on center Andre Gerard, whenever he was a Titan and Gerard the Cowboy. He got 5 games. I think Suh should get 4. It wasn't as extreme as Hainsworth, but the guy lied about it, and it was a joke. He was like, I didn't mean to do it intentionally, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. You had to, choose to stomp on him. You were falling back, you could have just fell back, but no, you just had to stomp. So I'm glad he's suspended, but I wish he was suspended for a little bit longer. Michael Vick is still going to be out with the broken ribs. Still out. Jeremy Maclin, still out. LaShawn McCoy, questionable. So Vince Young is going to get his third straight start. Sorry about that. And he's 1-1 so far. I honestly don't even know who they're playing. I'll look that up later, but I mean, I like Vince Young. I think he will be a starter somewhere next year. The question just is where. And there's a lot of candidates, a lot of people that need a quarterback. And Philadelphia is playing Seattle. Okay, that's a win. That's a W for the Eagles. I think Vince Young will play well. I think he will do pretty well. Seattle's not a good team. Weak offense and weaker defense, in my opinion. So I would, if you need a QB, go pick him up in fantasy free agency. Switching over to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is expected to hear back. He's having some neck exams. He's expected to hear the results next week. So hopefully, I hope he doesn't play at all this season. But, it'd be nice to get him back into practice and to show that they don't need Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck's overrated. Texans. Matt Schaub, injured. Backup Matt Leinart. Wanted to see him play. Injured. So, TJ Yates, now the starter for the division-leading Texans. And they worked out or they looked at Jeff Garcia and Jake Delhomme, and they ended up signing Jake Delhomme. There were even talks that the Brett Favre retirement coming out would almost pulled it off. But no one called him, and he didn't call anybody, which I'm glad. Just stick to your dumb commercials. Jake Delhomme most recently played with the Cleveland Browns, but made his career in Carolina. I mean, I'm not too crazy about the pickup. I would have gone with a younger guy. Or, I mean, I would reach out to David Garrard, to be honest. But, you know, I mean, hopefully Yates plays good, because I wouldn't feel comfortable as the Texans coach to go to Jake Delhomme. Basically, in other news, I want to talk about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer, like, I had so much respect for the guy. I mean, he did mold the greatest quarterback. Just kidding. Greatest college quarterback ever. Behind Vince Young. I still put Vince Young ahead of him. But anyways, Urban Meyer takes off from Florida last year, goes into the broadcasting booth. A lot of people do that. Okay, that's cool. On family issues and health, or he said he wants to spend more time with his family and health issues. Which I hear is, I don't see a future after Tebow, so I better run quick. And so he left Florida a year away. Jim Tressel gets caught with the whole tattoo, the Ohio State mess. And then he accepts the job at Ohio State. If you want to, I know he's from Ohio State. Yes, go ahead and say it. I'm not from Ohio State, but the state of Ohio. He's from there. But, come on. 1 year, put salt in the wounds. They still remember your name. They still wish you were coaching in Florida, and you're just gonna, whoop. Oh, hey, Ohio State. Yeah, I'll be your head coach. Come on, dude. And your health issues, just lie. I mean, you don't have to lie. Just tell the truth. Hey, I don't think Florida's going to succeed in the future, so I'm going to deuce. I wouldn't say it in those words, but, I mean, you could say, I don't see myself having any more success. My recruiting class is not as good, and just be gone. Just be gone. But, I also wanted to talk to you. Denver's playing Minnesota. 6-1. 6-1. I just wanted to go over the free agents with you in NBA, just to get a look about who's possible. I'm just going to do all of them, and I'll tell you if they're... I'll do the unrestricted free agents first, and then I'll do the restricted ones. How about that? The big unrestricted free agents. Nene, last played in Denver, a center. 14 points a game, possibly Dallas or Miami, depending on whether Dallas re-signs Tyson Chandler, who is also unrestricted. David West, Jason Richardson, Glenn Davis, Glenn Big Baby Davis, yep, that's him. Grant Hill, Tayshaun Prince, Jamal Crawford, J.J. Barea, Shane Battier, Caron Butler, Carl Landry, and Chris Humphreys. And some other free agents that are restricted, which means the teams have the right to match the contract offered. Kind of like when Mark Cuban didn't freaking match the offer that the Phoenix Suns made for Steve Nash. Yeah, it's like that. Greg Oden, that's an interesting one. I don't think he will be re-signed, so I'm curious to where he'll go. Let's see. Jeff Green. Let's see. DeAndre Jordan, and also Marc Gasol. Curious what happens to Marc Gasol. And I was recently, speaking to Greg Oden, I was told that Brandon Roy might be cut. Yeah, he's had bad knees, but the guy could still play. Someone with talent, go and get him. New York, the Clippers, Mavs, Spurs. Someone go get that guy. I love watching Brandon Roy play. Some other free agents: Mario Chalmers, Tracy McGrady. The guy's still in the league. Rodney